On episode 299 of the 365 Message Center show, we have SharePoint lists, creating a list from a CSV file and export to CSV. That's a great thing. Default tag management, we're going to allow members to be able to add their own tags, and post on behalf of, and Viva Engage gets another superpower. This is the 365 Message Center show, rolling. Welcome back. This is the show yes. That I just introduced. Come on, were you just listening before?
I was. I don't know about everybody else.
Yeah, I know you. I hope you were.
I was. I was.
But welcome.
I was kind of like, hey, what are we going to talk about? I don't know. So that's why I listened.
Is that how you feel about the messages this week? What are we going to talk about?
We're going to have to fill some time, people. No, I'm just. We'll talk about some things.
No, we value your time. We value your time. We're not going to tread water. If this episode ends up being 10 minutes long, we're good with that.
That's right.
I'm sure you'll be good with that too.
In fact, we will. One thing I want to do is I want to let everybody know we are this week going to announce yet another way for you to enter in contest to go to ESPC. So we have a ticket, a 3-day ticket giveaway for the European SharePoint Conference, and this week we are going to announce other ways for you to enter to be in for the drawing, because we're giving this thing away this month-ish. Like, it'll go through the end of this month, and then we'll do it. But it is so be looking. We're going to do it on socials, so you're going to have to follow us on the socials, all the socials that matter. It's, LinkedIn and Insta and the artist formerly known as Twitter. We're even on TikTok and Facebook. And so all of those things, right? Be following us and be looking out, because we're going to do that giveaway and we're going to announce. And if you want to get in early, you have to be following us and watching. And we're going to be announcing this week how you can do that. At 365 MCS. That's what I should say. Everywhere we're at 365 MCS.
Yes. That's right. I just wondered if you're going to sneak some kind of Easter egg in there, and we'd have to keep an eye out for that in the show. Maybe that would be another fun way to do this.
Oh, that would be kind of fun.
I know.
Okay.
Maybe you could listen for a certain plastic glass company that could be involved in the way that we describe examples when we're talking about messages.
Could be. Good job, Daryl.
Yeah.
So,
thank you.
Make sure you're following us. Make sure you're subscribed. Click the button. Click the bell so you are notified whenever we post here on YouTube. Yep. If you're on the audio podcast, make sure that you give us a rating on the podcast so other people can find us. Give us a nice 5-star rating and say, this thing is awesome. Share out on socials. Make sure you tag us at 365 MCS. So we can amplify you as well.
Treat us like an Uber driver, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're just 5 stars for everything, right? Unless we've done something completely terrible.
And then tell us before you get out of the car.
For the first 3 minutes of our show. Come on, man. Let's get into the messages.
But then tell us before you leave the car so that we can fix it, right? All right.
Oh, yeah, how we can improve. Yeah. You needed breath mints. We need breath mints on the show, Daniel. That's what was missing.
So, first up, we have this first message. Let's draft it and schedule it.
Yep.
All right. This is draft and scheduled post with POBO. I don't know who POBO is, but no. POBO is post on behalf of in Viva Engage, MC66767-2. So, we have been able to post on behalf of other people. This is, functionality that lots of people like. It is where, maybe you post as instead of your boss posting, maybe it's assistants to C-suite people, something like that, right? Posting. But what this message is talking about is you're going to be able to draft and schedule posts for other people, or in POBO, on post on behalf of. So you're going to be able to work on a post that is in the name of someone else, if it's been delegated to you, and work on it. Work on it. Instead of right now, you have to kind of create it and then post it right then. Once you're ready, you can post it, right? That draft. Or you could schedule it and say, hey, I want this to go out on Friday afternoon or Monday morning or whatever it is. So you'll be able to post on behalf of, but schedule it as well. I think that's a really great feature because, frankly, when you're posting on behalf of someone, oftentimes it is something that needs to be scheduled, right? Oftentimes it's something that you... And think about it this way. Hey, I want to schedule posts, one a week for the next, 6 weeks. You can go ahead and do that right now, right? You can draft them up when they're ready, schedule them for that next 6 weeks. What do you think, Daryl? Do you think people will be using this more?
Well, actually, wondering about that when you say we can schedule more than one. I know with some maybe that's what the screenshot is here. Some platforms say that you can schedule, but they only let you schedule one or only let you keep one draft. But we're looking at the screenshots in the message, and this last one here, there is a tab for Lydia Bauer, who must be the person who is having the post drafted for. The example here, I think, is Leadership Connection. And there's a list of posts that you could schedule or draft and get ready to post. I think it's good because, as you said, Daniel, we often are trying to use leadership messaging like this to make an impact at a certain time, to go out with a news post at the same time and start that conversation in our full control. So that's one thing about it.
Yeah, indeed. And so this is, now, you got to remember, folks, for POBO, you got to have a premium license to be able to do this. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
So you do need a premium license. This will be rolling out in preview early September, so in a couple weeks-ish, with standard release rollout early October through late October. So, cool. That sounds great. Maybe you could add that people, that have adoption and activities as part of your key results, part of your goals in Viva Goals. You can add that to it and maybe present it. Say, hey, it's coming.
You could, Daniel. I love the way you've segued to the very essence of my message. Viva Goals. Export your OKRs to PowerPoint. Lowercase p, as you said earlier, Daniel. Lowercase p. First of all, let's talk for 5 minutes about product spelling, right? PowerPoint, SharePoint.
Maybe we shouldn't.
Get the point?
I think we get the point. Yes.
Yes. Right, so this fancy capability of being able to, have a discussion about your OKRs in a presentation. This is really the goal for it. Oh, boy. I am borrowing product names to talk about the message. What I meant was the objective. Oh, there we go. The key thing about this, the result that you're after, is sorry, Daniel,
killing me.
That you're in your OKR. Let's find this. There is a blog post for it, right? And I'll drop this in somewhere because they do have some nice videos that show you how things work. A bit further down here. Yeah, not that one. Those are profiles. Align with charts. Oh, there it is. All right. So you are in your OKRs. You wanting to have a discussion with your manager. It's a one-on-one. You've gone fancy. You've created yourself a PowerPoint slide because you want to really pizzazz and sort of go into the detail. But you need that slide that really wraps it all up together and talks about how many plastic glasses you've been able to produce in the timing basically the throughput, right? So you're meeting that throughput. You're on track with that goal. And you can go through and export that, and it drafts up a slide, and then you can export it, and it becomes a PowerPoint. And there you go. You've got it. It's not an image, though, Daniel. It actually looks to be a proper table with icons, and it looks like a spark line, I guess, but not quite. Yeah. Helpful?
I think so. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? Type of functionality here, but at least it looks pretty. I feel like the one thing about OKRs, about Viva goals in general, is when wanting to share and talk through them with people, you have to bring it up in your browser and share your screen and stuff. So what if you ask your team, hey everyone, I want you to share your OKRs in this PowerPoint that you're all working on together. And so you all just copy those slides over into a one PowerPoint that you're doing a team update or something, right? So it could be useful.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. We have validated the usefulness of this, so it was well worth going over it. Now this is going to begin rolling out mid-August, so last weekish, and complete rollout by late August, so next weekish. And you saw it in action.
Indeed.
Daniel, this thing about lists, I think this is something we've been waiting for. I mean, it's straightforward, but very helpful. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. SharePoint. Microsoft List, just in case you didn't know, Microsoft List are SharePoint lists, so they say SharePoint.
Oh.
Microsoft List. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Oh, really? SharePoint. Microsoft List. Create a list from CSV and export to CSV. MC668787. This is exactly what the title says. We're going to be able to, import a CSV, which is something that we really have been able to do in classic SharePoint, being able to, do from Excel, but now we're going to be able to do it from CSV as well. We could do Excel in modern in List, but now we can do CSV. And then be able to export them as well, right? Yes. Daryl is showing on screen a very small, if you try to zoom in on the screenshot in the message. What's really good about I like that the screenshots show someone has circled in green what they're adding, and then the next screenshot they've drawn an arrow, which is, you could definitely tell it's hand drawn, but thank you for doing it, though. I mean, no, seriously.
Authenticity.
No, it is authentic. And, oftentimes we get these screenshots and we're like, okay, what is new? I can't tell. So, cool. Thanks for doing that. Now, the thing with this, though, is, and it's kind of outlined in the message, what is changing, though? Because if you think about it, exporting to CSV is a little different than going to Excel. And so there's going to be a little bit of changes here. So with the schema, with exporting to CSV, then there's going to be, it says exporting to CSV, there's going to be one small change. When you have a Boolean, it is going to export as true false instead of yes no. Okay, so that can get you, maybe, if you are used to seeing yes no in the list. When you export to CSV, it's going to be true false. And I think it is right. It says in the message that it's aligning with what standard expectation. So if you were to import this into a database or into some other system that is expecting a bullet, they're going to expect a true false. They don't, other systems don't expect a yes no. What does yes no mean? But that SharePoint, that's held over. SharePoint's always done that. Yes no. And then if you do export CSV with schema, there's some indications there for the people field. They're going to export the email address, which I think is a good thing, so that you can, instead of the person's name, the date time is going to be in universal date time format, and then of course the Boolean field being true false. Cool. Daryl, you kind of look like you were
Cool.
You were like, this is interesting.
Well, I mean, with schema means that we're basically getting the whole structure of the list. Is that right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's trying to get the structure of the list and be able to recreate that, right? So it's not just the data that you're seeing there, and you're going to get the date, time, and all that. So it says there with schema, it's going to allow you to maintain that custom formatting. So when you do the import, so I mean, it looks great, but I think that you want to copy a list from one tenant to another, for instance. Well, export it to CSV with schema and then import it, and it'll look exactly the same as that other list. So that's pretty cool. So be rolling out late August, so soon, and expected to be completed by early September for those in targeted release, and then in standard release starting with mid-September and going through late September. So I'm looking forward to it. And whenever it does roll out, you can go into Teams and mention the tag of those champions that help people understand new functionality that's coming, and say, @champions do this. And if you don't have those tags, who's going to be able to create those for us, Daryl?
Well, just the owner, Daniel. Just the owner. Yeah. But soon, members of the team. Wow, we just so merged that together.
It's like we've been doing this for a while. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Microsoft default for tag management to include team members. MC66858. Tags at the moment can be created by team owners, and they are super useful for creating, I guess, a contact list within a team. Sometimes it's just not enough to mention the channel and hope that everyone's following it. It's good to create tags. But is it really something that we only want team owners to do? I think in some teams we've got that level of trust where we do want to allow the team members to manage and create tags of their own to reflect who they want to communicate with. And so, yeah, that's going to be available as default coming soon. I think, Daniel, it's a good move. That's about it. Like, what is there a screenshot here that actually helps to show us the setting? So if you did want to have a bit of control over who manages tags, you can set that at the tenant level and say, we do want team owners and members to be able to manage tags. Or if you want to just stick with your team owner governance decision, then you've got the control to do that within Teams policies in the Teams Admin Center.
Yeah, we've talked about this Microsoft default thing before. That Microsoft introduced, saying here the defaults that we're going to do. So if you want to stick with that, then they're going to switch that to include members. Yeah. So
we'll talk about another default later on too.
Yeah. Indeed.
So that it's quite a list there of when it will happen. Preview. Mm-hmm. So if you're using, what does that mean? Teams preview versus targeted release versus standard. So preview, it's rolling out now and expected to be late August. Targeted release, late August through to early September, and standard release, late August through to early September. All right. Could have saved on some digital ink there, I guess. But tell us, Daniel, there's something that's retiring shortly that maybe some of you may miss. Maybe some of you didn't even know it was there. You're going to hurry off now and explore it, and then go, why are they taking that away? That'd be great.
Maybe.
Over to you.
Reuse files in Word to be retired. MC6688802. So they're getting rid of, retiring, a functionality in Word that allows you to basically go and search for Word documents and then pluck pieces out of those Word documents onto the document that you're looking at right now. So this could be paragraphs, it could be headings, and tables, whatever. You can easily just click this little plus button over that section, and it just puts it in your Word document. So
Does it make that noise as well?
yes, it absolutely does if you do it yourself. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to remove it, the button. In fact, it may already be removed in your Word if you're updating. But you can go up and search for reuse files, and you can still find the setting. However, in January of 2024, they're going to remove it completely. So one thing I don't like about this message is it doesn't give you any help as to what you should do. What's the replacement for this? Because I have a little bit of an exception to this. I look at it and go, wait a minute. You say in the second paragraph, Microsoft is committed to improving your Microsoft 365 subscription. Okay, but you're removing functionality. So how are you improving it? Tell us how we should work with our Word files if this is not going to be available. Now, it could be that their telemetry says, hey, nobody uses this whatsoever. So maybe that's true. In fact, I'd like to hear from our listeners and our watchers here. Go into the comments, and if you're on YouTube, go in the comments and tell us, have you ever used reuse files in Word? And if you say yes, tell us how long. Like I use it all the time. I've used it once, whatever. Everyone that's listening, go ahead and put it in the comments. And if you're listening on the audio podcast, go on to LinkedIn or the artist formerly known as Twitter and tag us at 365MCS and say, hey, I use reuse files in Word, or I've never used this before. All right, so everybody do it. Go ahead and do that. You can pause. There's a pause button right there. Just click it and then do that. All right, you're back. Great. So I would like this message to be improved. Hey, tell us how to do it. Now, my thoughts, Daryl, is that you just open up the other Word document and plop it over. It's not as easy, because this reuse of files in Word, it's nice. You click a little plus button, it goes bloop. If you have another Word document open, you have to, select everything, Control C if you're on Windows, and you go over here and Control V. I don't know. Also reuse files in Word, it uses the current documents formatting. So if you open up a document that has a different H1 formatting and you click the plus, it becomes H1 in your current document, but with your formatting. So it's not,
Oh, good.
So it's kind of cool. It makes it a little faster work, but so they're removing it. Really, I've made a long speech for this little bitty message, but I think it's very interesting. So I'd love to hear. Yeah. I can't wait to see all the comments. Everybody, let us know if that is something that you use. So I've already told you, January 2024, they're going to remove it completely, unless some very large Microsoft customer complains, and then maybe they'll not get rid of it. But they're going to get rid of it for now,
or delay the retirement.
Right, delay it. For another 6 months.
For a decade.
Daryl, let's end this shebang with some loop on default.
Yeah, this is a message I saw posted on socials by our friend Phil Worrell, or Worrell Pa, on the formerly known as Twitter platform. And it is about loop being turned on by default. Now, I don't know if I can actually get this to be of a reasonable size, so I'm going to have to bring this in and overlay it. It'll be there in the video, and I'll show it to you. But today, Loop the Loop app rather is off by default, and organization has to turn it on intentionally because today we're also missing compliance capabilities and things like being able to delete something and recover something from a recycle bin. So stuff, right? What is going to be happening is for Business Standard, Business Premium, Microsoft 365 E3 and E5, the feature will be turned on by default, and an organization will have to intentionally turn it off. So this means that the Loop app will be available. People will be able to go to loop.microsoft.com and start using it. Now, everyone knows how much I love Loop, but I would have to agree with some of the chatter on socials that it's until we see some of those compliance capabilities and simple admin stuff, I don't know if this is a good move.
Well, that's what I was about to say. It's not just compliance. It's some admin things like recovering a workspace and such. It just, some of those things, it's a great app, but some of those things, I don't know, I'll say it, you don't have to say it, makes this app not enterprise ready. It's a great app, don't get me wrong. I love using it. Love the integration with recaps with Teams meetings notes and love it, but it's not enterprise ready when you can't do some of those things. And so having it on by default seems a little rushing things a little bit.
Yeah, well, I'll be a bit more specific too. It's not turned on by default for everyone. They're gradually introducing the on by default based on certain tenant conditions. So it's not like, there it is and everyone has access to it. So yeah, the other thing about this message was that it's written as if to say, hey, if you haven't got it turned on, then this is what's going to happen. If you do have it turned on, then don't worry. It's got all of that covered. But the message wasn't delivered to my tenant. And so, it highlights that for some reason there's something about this message that I didn't meet those conditions, so I didn't need to know about it. Likewise with Daniel and one of his, but it turned up in another tenant view. Which one was that, Daniel?
Yeah, it did not turn up in my tenant, my normal tenant that has E3s and E5 licenses going on and various other licenses. It turned up in my business standard tenant. So that was interesting. Not sure why it showed up there, but it definitely did, because although business standard and business premium are mentioned in this, also E3 and E5. So I don't understand why it didn't show up in others. Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you who have received it and you've got any questions or comments, feel free to add them to the video or jump on the socials. But yeah, the common feeling here is that is it really a good idea to turn this on by default yet? Probably not. Like maybe it's just trying to get ahead of itself. Nothing more to share there. Let's see, when will this happen? Yeah. Oh yeah, so it is about by default for increased number of tenants starting in late September 2023 and will continue through till early 2024. It's a gradual process.
Yeah, it's
but
but there's no, it doesn't seem like there's any rhyme or reason as to who gets it and who doesn't, according to this. So it's very interesting. So anyway.
Yeah. If you want to look for it, that's MC668811.
Indeed.
And that is the show for this week. So, Daniel, were you going to announce how people could?
No. They got to be on socials. They gotta follow us and watch out. Maybe we'll make a comment on this episode to hear, and on YouTube so they can see that. But yeah, gotta do that. I will be in Seattle this week for 365 EduCon. Hey people, I have stickers, brand new stickers. They're sparkly, they're holographic stickers. I mean, I've got some amazing stickers.
Really?
Oh yes, sir. So if you're there, come see me. I'll give you a sticker.
What part of it's holographic?
Dude, the part that is the sticker is holographic.
What?
I don't have it right here.
I mean, like our faces pop out, or like what is it?
Yeah, exactly. No. I don't know if anybody would want that sticker.
No, exactly. Like, why?
I don't know if I can see it. See? It's like holographic. It does color change.
Okay. We're Technicolor, right.
Yeah, that color right there that you're seeing, and that's not like visual effects. That's actually the sticker. It's like Technicolor.
Oh, okay, all right.
Anyway.
All right. Fantastic.
There's some value, people.
That's us.
Thank you so much
Yep.
for watching and listening. Episode 299. Next week is 300. We're going to have a huge celebration. No, Daryl doesn't do celebrations. So,
Maybe
but
when
anyway.
we hit 500.
Yeah, maybe. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. Really appreciate it. Until next week. See you then.
Bye.